Crowd. This is Ron Lachine. That was.
The 26-year-old Honda rider from Berkshire is the 1989 World 500cc Motocross champion.
Rick Johnson took the checkered flag and the 500cc crown. A few minutes later, he had this to say.
Thank God it's over.
Were involved in a couple of incidents last year, and they're not the best of friends. As a result of one of those incidents, Hannah ended up with a broken wrist. And it happens again. Bowen ran it under Hannah and tried to use Hannah's leg for a burn. What a race! Bowen, with about a mile of banners wound up in his rear wheel, runs desperately to repass Hannah. Hannah has got to be thinking of that broken wrist and staying out of Bowen's way. Now Bowen with an inside line draws even. He makes the pass. Keith Bowen, Team Yamaha, has moved back into third, and Hannah goes to fourth. Shadowing Bowen, Hannah will keep as much pressure.
No, like I told you, when they brought the 83 out, the first 83s, they were beautiful. They had some problems, but it was mainly brakes and the shock linkage and a few little pieces. Once we got that fixed, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. You know, Bailey started riding. I didn't race the 83 at Anaheim. I raced an 82, which was Donnie Hansen's bike. He got hurt. It's the only reason I even had the opportunity. I rode the 82. The next week, I rode the 83 with a new link, front disc, drum brake in the back, because I hated it. So I don't use the back brake that much. I use the front. And then I got into it eventually running, once we got the pads built, running discs on front and rear, and that bike was fantastic. I rode it at Seattle the first night, won both nights, and it was working good. David and Johnny rode a lot softer suspension than me. And in retrospect, when they look back, I think they would probably say they're wrong. Because in Supercross, the suspension went way stiffer, and I had it way stiffer a long time ago. You know, it's not plush, but it works better to go fast. And I think they probably, if they thought about it, they'd probably admit that they were a little soft. I know they were. I know that. I could watch them and I go, too soft. But I think they would admit that. I think they would think that. If they remember, you know. But I remember. And I bet he thinks, when he thinks about it, he was probably a little soft. He was softer than me, and I bet he was too soft for Supercross, to be frank.
Cutting back to the inside of Hannah, held on a second. What a move by Johnson. Through the mechanic signal area, O'Mara holding the lead in front. Here's Johnson, and Johnson goes down. Hannah moves to second, and a lap rider goes by. And here comes Hannah alongside O'Mara. Hannah, with feet off the pegs, goes by. An unbelievable pass. Hannah has the lead, and now it's O'Mara's turn to play catch-up. And O'Mara is coming right back. Into the corner and out, Hannah with a drive. O'Mara, though, refuses to back off. Hannah goes wide. O'Mara cuts to the inside. He repasses Hannah. They collide. O'Mara looks back, and he waves Hannah by. I don't understand this, and I don't think that Hannah does either. But to the delight of this huge crowd, the Hurricane has stormed to the lead. And you can bet the Unadilla fans look forward to having Hannah come here. The Honda star has developed a special relationship with Unadilla, with only one thing missing, a win. And he's looking for that today. The first moto is winding down, and it's all Bob Hannah's.
Riders learn, riders get better and better and better, but I firmly believe you take the best rider now, put him in 1978 in a Belgium GP on 78 motorcycles, and Roger would kick the crap out of him. I mean, I hate to tell you. That's the way it is. It's not, they're so much better than Roger now. Their bikes are way better than Roger's, but they're not better than Roger. I wasn't better than Roger when I came along.
So what about the actual way you rode the motorcycle changed? Did that really change?
Few techniques. Touching the rear, being able to jump a bike and I can jump a bike 50 feet and put my front wheel down or the rear wheel down and on a spot, and I bring the front wheel right down. I like landing on the front wheel. I did that. We learned that we didn't learn that in the old days. We didn't touch the rear brake until probably late 70s, you know. This wasn't the deal, and everybody knows it. Now everybody does it. There are a few techniques like that, but these guys that think they're way greater riders than those old guys, than Joel or Roger or Heike, they're full of shit. They're full of shit. I know my greatest day and ever and best shape and best bike. I don't want in a GP with Heike and Roger. I don't want in that race. And so these guys today they may think, oh yeah, we're way faster than those guys. No way.
Getting down into the final stages of this one down here. Line number 25, Team Honda, Palmer. 125 national champion, 250 national champion, 3 times the Supercross champion.
There's one of the questions.
Supercross now has developed and developed and developed. But I even think certain things about Supercross. When Supercross started, there were no tracks the same. These guys go out there in the first lap of practice right now and jump all the triples and all. Well, how the hell do you think they do that? Because they're all 61 feet with this slope and 80 feet, and they know it before they go out there. In 1980, you did that, you'll bust your ass because you had no idea, and it might be 100 feet, and it's very square. Nasty, dangerous tracks. You didn't walk them, you didn't ride them the first lap very fast, and you didn't ride them for many laps very fast. These guys go out now and go over the whole thing, and I go, are they great riders, or are the tracks, you know, don't tell me how tough they are.
Say with outdoor tracks,
No, I think outdoors are outdoors. I think they're.
you don't think they're overgroomed? And
Oh, I don't like them. I don't like them overgroomed. Yes, I think they're overgroomed. They took Unadilla and made a pile of shit out of it. And I wouldn't want to ride there. It used to be my favorite track of all time, and they ruined it. And so I don't know what to tell you, but there used to be grass that tall, and we went out there and you went 5 miles an hour because you didn't know if there was a hole left over from the tall. We went out there and you went 5 miles an hour because there was a hole left over from the last race, and you didn't know it was there. And now it's like riding a saddleback. So for me, yeah, they ruined it. Supercross, I say, the only thing I say is bad. I think they're killing the riders riding those 450s. Too much bike. And if they don't believe me, my point's sticking. How many people get hurt every year? Is that your idea to kill the whole friggin' crowd? Every factory break them before the end of the year because you're doing a hell of a. Too much bike. Outdoors, yeah, fun. I love that bike. I would like that bike outdoors. I like that power because the better rider does a better job if he has a powerful bike because he's a better rider than this jackass over. And if they're both on 20 horsepower bikes, they both look good. If we're both racing a Toyota around Willow Springs, you and I are going to be within a second. But put us in an Indy car and it's going to change. Okay?
so, I mean, beyond just...
I say they're killing the riders in the Supercross, not by the tracks, by the bikes. I think they had to think about it. They had to tame the bikes down to maybe 350 or something because they're just they get a handful and they're destroying the riders. Is that your point? And it wouldn't be mine. I think it's a big mistake. I don't think a guy can ride a bloody Supercross even without getting hurt. I mean, name a guy. Not if he's going to go for it.
But is that, you think that's...
I think it's a bad deal.
You think that's 90% motorcycle? And
Yes. Hell yeah, the riders are great. They're tough, they're training all the time, they're great riders. But they're not gods, like I told you when I needed to back it down in '83. I break just like you do. You know, one broken stupid bone cost me 2 championships.